Here are 20 things to do before deleting your Minecraft world. To start, I'm gonna have to say we're gonna build this diamond beacon right here. Now, despite it taking 747 diamonds to build and there being no real way to farm this is going to take a very long time to build. So if you just want to extend your time and kill even more of your time, I suggest building this. Now, if you want to do some collecting, then I definitely suggest doing horses, as this is probably just like the best mob to be collecting in your spare time. There's so many variations and so many different ones that you can just collect. It will just keep you occupied for absolute hours. Now, if you're like me and you die a lot in Minecraft, then this is probably an achievement that will actually probably make you pretty occupied. Basically, a zombie just hits you into this, and it says, "Listening now, walk into the danger zone due to a zombie." It's a pretty funny death message, and basically, yeah, you can just, if you want, you can also collect death messages. If you played Minecraft for a while, you've probably seen every single type of villager there is, but you probably have never seen one like this. This is a pretty rare variant. It spawns only in the swamp biome. So I definitely suggest, if you're just bored, you can go searching for this villager. As you see, they just are like the most common types. Villages and swamps are actually pretty rare, so that's why these are almost never seen. Most players don't even know about these, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, definitely just go check some out, find some, maybe cage them and breed them. So if you really want to show off to your friends, you can try to go find this brown panda, which has actually a 12.5% spawn rate. It's incredibly rare, especially since pandas are very rare in general. So like, if you just want to put it in a zoo, keep it, you know, make everyone jealous that you have this much time to spend, you don't have a life. So banners are really cool and everything, but if you really want to spend more time trying to make these more complex, then I suggest making banner patterns. They require these super like obscure objects. They're incredibly difficult to find. Banner pattern like this creeper charge, for example. You also need a golden, there's one for a golden apple, I believe. Yep. Thing. That's kind of funny. So yeah, basically just, he's basically just added way more complexity to banners. If you're in the mood for some more mob headhunting, what I suggest you do is get a channeling trident, light the creeper on fire, get him charged. Hold on. Flint and steal him. Steal his heart. Get a, like that. Boom. You get this super cool mob head, probably in my opinion best in the game. This is just like the biggest flex of all time. Some good old-fashioned fishing, then I suggest you do this, which is essentially fishing until you can catch 10 ink sacs on one go. I know that ink sacs are kind of boring to catch, but there is a 1 in 1,000 chance of you catching 10 at once. So, I mean, if you just want to relax, listen to some music, and just go fishing, definitely not the worst thing you could do with your time. Although there are better things. So woodland mansions are one of the most rare things to find in the game. So many people have forgotten these exist because of just how rare they are. But there is actually something even that makes these even rarer, and that is a little center in the middle. This one does not have it, unfortunately, but it is full of lava and a naturally diamond spawning block. Yes, like there is an actual diamond block in this. Insane how these already insanely rare structures can get even more rare. So I just think that's super cool. 1.20 update, there are about 16 armor trims that you can now collect, but there is a super rare one that is called the silence armor trim. Right here. It actually has only a 0.12, I think 1.2% chance of spawning, which is insanely rare. If you're also in the mood just to show off to your friends and just show them how much time you got on your hands, definitely, I would not recommend going for this one. You will be spending hours looking for this. I already know how rare emerald ore is. It's very uncommon, just it's super inconvenient to find it this way. Villagers are way better. But what you probably didn't know is that the steep slate emerald ore is 25% less likely to be found than diamonds. which is just kind of stupid in my mind. There really is no point in going after this unless, you know, like for the display part. Then I definitely recommend using a silk duct pick. Portal is pretty easy, just a simple designs, rectangle, boom. But ever since the snapshot of something I don't remember, you can now build these really cool designs, and apparently a lot of people online have been making these sick ways to design nether portals. I just think that's super cool, so if you want to go for it, definitely go at it. No one's stopping you. Farms in your world, then you probably have an overfill problem with your chests and you just have way too much stuff. But here's a way how to make that process a little less painful, is to simply make a this little contraption right here, farms up here, and then they release the loot down here. And then what this is, so then you have your farm, up here, and then it's going to release all the loot and stuff into this wall, and it's all going to trickle down very slowly and look very satisfying from certain angles. It looks like just a really cool waterfall. Definitely doesn't add a whole lot, but definitely is very visually appealing, and well, I don't know, it will spice up your world. If you want to kill some times by breaking the laws of physics, then what I suggest you do is building this little clock with this slime ball and this piston that makes like this little trampoline thing. What you gotta do is you gotta launch your riptide when it bounces you up. Ah! If you get the timing just correct, then you will bounce like really high. That, super cool, super fun. Yep, just a great way to break physics. From what I've heard, apparently you can get emeralds out of foxes, but it's super rare. So just in case you want to stop trading with villagers and take on a challenge, then you can do this method, which basically just, there is a 5% chance of the fox spawning with an emerald in its mouth. Fortunately, I don't think I have any here. Here one has leather. I don't believe there are any right here, but you get the gist. It is pretty rare. They do spawn with leather actually pretty often. So if you don't know what a block palette is, it's essentially just a color palette that goes from darkest to lightest. For here example, I have a yellow color palette, and it's just going from darkest yellow to lightest yellow. If you're a builder, this will definitely help you out, but even if you're not, it's still just something kind of cool to look at, and it's a bit eye-pleasing. You can lay this out as a reference, or I don't know, maybe like make it your own design, something cool like that. But if you have the blocks and you have the farms, definitely recommend just making some kind of cool rainbow with these color palettes. So on Reddit there is this thing called like a mini diorama, and essentially you just make these little scale models of like biomes, pretty common biomes, or just biomes in general. And it's just kind of a cool way to explore a miniscale building. I know a few people who are actually really good at this. I'm not one of those people, but it is just a really cool like little experiment thing to kill time with. Just make, and you could even start a collection and really just build whatever your heart desires. Now I know I just talked about miniature scale models, but if you really want to take the challenge and go the extra mile, then you could also make a massive scale model. For example, this is a 1x1 stump right here. I would transform it into a 3x3. This is just an example of how big you can possibly get. So basically, yeah, you just take the regular dimensions, times it by 2 or 3, and basically, and you can just get these massive scale models of the regular biomes and stuff, like trees, flowers, etc. Now for the last and final thing, it's probably pretty obvious, but it is just completely destroying your world with TNT. I remember I used to do this a lot on Pocket Edition, where I'd just make these massive nukes with TNT and just let it go off. It is pretty cool to watch, but it will probably crash your game, especially if you're on an older computer, or just not a very powerful device in general. I'm just gonna let this blow and see what it looks like. Not very big, but definitely something you can do. You're probably gonna love this design. which is basically just the guillotine in Minecraft, which is super cool thanks to this new dripstone. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. Hit that. Easy public death. Pretty cool. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed so much. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!